Up, everybody? I'm Pimpin' Yogi, aka Yogi Chris PhD, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga, and this is Enlightened Masculinity Podcast. If you've been following the show for some time, which a lot of the viewers are, we have some returning guests, and so you can, mark and chart their evolution in this process. This Jamie Galeana and IMC Bearded Warrior Fighting Shapeshifting Monk, Master myself, Jordan Demari, and we got a really interesting topic, and I want to bring to it my definition for this word racism. Because I just think it's really interesting. I think that what IMC Nation is doing moving forward is really counter culture in a lot of ways, especially the politically correct culture, especially the race baiting and, media manipulation of emotions or whatever, things around stuff, but also not super old school traditional of, I don't know. I don't even know that I believe what they tell us about history, really, about how it went down. I think it's really all just so obscure and fucked up. And so there's this like fine edge that we flirt with when it comes to pride, race pride and cultural pride, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, from some, Oriental, Indian, who knows, Native American. There's a lot of pride in that. And so what I have is Jamie Galeana from Los Angeles, big Hispanic community, IMC, big Hispanic community there in Los Angeles. And they've been doing meetups, and it's really inspiring to see. And Master myself, who's one of the IMC Nation Black Panther generals. We got some other IMC Nation Black Panther members here watching live. And of course, on the recordings, there's, lots of viewers. So if you're watching the recording, follow the show right now and click the link or whatever. You can find these guys, my guests, on Instagram. They're linked in the description also. So before I give my definition of racism, I want to hand it over to Master myself. You weren't too keen on even the topic being called anything racism. I was making it like for clickbait, but really just like pride in one's cultural heritage and connecting with one's brothers that have similar cultural heritage and, maybe power that could be drawn from that. Like, how's it been going with the IMC Nation Black Panthers? Like, how's the evolution? What can you tell us about that experience? Because I don't even know what that's like. I don't have a white guy meeting to go to for IMC Nation with white pride. I don't even know what that would be like. Maybe you can give me a taste. What's up with it?
Right on. I got you, brother. Well, thank you once again for having me on the podcast. It's a pleasure to be here as always. The Black Panther movement that we've been tapping into has been extremely powerful for myself to witness the integration of the ideas and the concepts of the Black Panther Party, what it was, and integrating that with the IMC technology and everything that AZD has been sharing with us along the process. So it's just been powerful to tap in on that level, and really it's a brotherhood that's like on a deeper level, right? It's something that I think subconsciously we all wanted to create. But nobody knew how to start, and nobody knew how to, go about doing that and doing it ethically, But when AZD gave us the go ahead, it was a green light for me, and I was excited to just gather with our brothers. So we meet twice a week right now. We have it separated, so it consists of a mastermind meeting that we do on earlier in the week on Saturdays, and then Sundays, and later on in the week on Thursdays is our worldwide mastermind. So we allow people to come tap in with us. So it's been real powerful, man. It's been an evolution for myself, my character in particular, just tapping into the power of the pack, and I'm excited for it. So
power of the pack, and what's that been like? What is that? Is it just feeling, as a group? And I guess it's digital, it's remote, so everybody's from all areas of the globe. And right. Man, like, is it like sharing stories of like upbringing, or talking about projects for the future, or relevant issues like at hand going on in the world? Is it like all of the above, or can you give me a flavor of what that's like? I don't even have any reference at all.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great question. And it's a combination of all of the above, everything that you mentioned, talking about, powerful topics, political conversations, but really, so all of that included, but on top of that, it's also a platform for us to practice our craft, right? When we're talking about communication and imagination, we tap into that image of what the Black Panther is and then speak from that platform. And so it's a powerful instrument that we're using, to work on our craft, and we're doing it together. So it's all of that and more, man. I'm really excited to share. We have that event coming up tomorrow, and so I'm excited to tap into that, and so everybody can get a sneak preview into what it is that we're planning on.
Give it a shout out. I'm not aware. What is this event tomorrow? I
Yeah,
saw the flyer. I shared it. It looked dope, but I'm an outsider. I don't know.
Man, it's a trip because it's a racial bonding in a sense, but what I was speaking on, or what we were all collaborating on, was the idea that it's our beasts as well, right? We're taking on the idea of our beasts as the
Which
Black
is a
Panther.
reference to AZD IMC Beast for anybody catching the recording. It's the beast process that we work here.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so combining that ideal, so that once again, that's the imagination process, tapping into that and aligning that with your beast. So I see it as a connection with, the culture background, but also our beast connection as well, because then we, collectively tap into that and inform each other and share with each other what it's like to be in that energy, right? And how it is to operate as that. So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, man. I mean, it gives me a take on it, a perspective, and I can see how it develops your character, your Black character, if I'm not mistaken, right? Plus all of the imaginative characters, but like the blackness of your imagination character. If you're tapping in like that, like I've never had anything like that. Although growing up, I suppose my soccer teams were white, my fucking cross country team was white. My wrestling team was mostly white. I mean, it was a white. I grew up in a white school, white area, very white. So, white privilege, I suppose. Jaime Galeana, what's up, brother? It's something I noticed with all of the Hispanics is I don't feel like I know. I always feel like I just don't know what's going on. Like with the speech, it's very. Sometimes I just got to translate, but I really, really like what's going on in Los Angeles. And really it's elsewhere. It's all, like Gio Estrada is in Arkansas, and there's people everywhere. So you're coming up for the party, the Millionaires Club event in 2 weeks or a week and a half now. So if you guys aren't signed up, you should be signed up. Melvin, it's my dad's name. You should be signed up. And you're coming to Gathering also. And you're coming with the mafia, the fucking Mexican mafia from Los Angeles, Guerrero, the Cervantes brothers. What can you tell us about? And that's a very fortunate. I mean, I've been around for some years. I've seen a lot of stuff. I haven't seen guys tribe up like you guys are in Los Angeles. And so if this is like your second or third time on the show, if you just want to check in with everybody, you got those sick ass forearm tattoos. Coming, what's new in your evolution?
Yeah, man. Wow, since the first time I went to the Beast Camp, after that it's been a whole transformation for me. And like you said, I feel fortunate to actually be around the Cervantes brothers and be really close to them. Since the first time I met Alex and Raul, there was this Hispanic connection that we had. And especially with everyone else that's here in Los Angeles, and I feel like we've built something special now because we're so close to each other, and we've kind of created that big. I would say we're probably the biggest group. We're like 9 or 10 guys here in SoCal. That we gather up. That we started to gather up now every Friday. And basically we tap in together. We after the Beast Gathering, we decide how we're feeling. If we want to go to the strip club or maybe go to the bars, and from there we just we bond, and it's been amazing, man. At least for me to experience that.
Originally the base idea was Project Hollywood idea. We were going to get a mansion in Los Angeles for gaming and everything. What happened was he gave me the idea in December around Christmas of 2019. And I just broke up with a girl. And so February or so of 2020, that's when COVID started happening. And so the plans changed. We hadn't found a house yet. And maybe somewhere in between, he had kind of come up with the idea that, I don't know if it was maybe January I seem to remember around January, he maybe came up with the idea that maybe the base product should be in San Jose for a year, get your business right, and then go to Hollywood or Los Angeles. And because Los Angeles would be mostly about gaming. So I know that when everything shut down, the idea completely shifted to San Jose because then it was all about get business right because gaming was out of the question. And it's still, I don't know, how is it? What's it like there, man? I haven't been to Los Angeles in like 2 years now.
Um, well, the times we gone to LA,
Or not, I know that LA, I use that as a general term, the whole
yeah, yeah.
fucking southwest corner of California. I mean,
Man, it's crazy because this last past weekend, Friday, we all gather up. We're like nine people, and we hit up a new place in Long Beach, probably like 20-30 minutes away from Los Angeles. And it was a new place that we hit up, a new strip club, and I could see how important it is to come in as a pack because you just it's like a movie, man. We're just there. We attract the people, and we're all tapping in. We're all having a good time, and you know, it's I guess it's a magical experience. That's how I can describe it, man. That's how I can describe this whole experience.
so LA, a lot of the social venues are open.
Yeah, we usually hit the places that don't require masks. Downtown LA is a little bit more restricted. They're asking for the stupid proof of vaccinations and masks and all that stuff. But there are some spots in LA that don't really require that. So it's just a matter of knowing the places and choosing where to go.
Yeah, and just wash, rinse, repeat every week. Go to those places, build your value with the staff and everything, and be cool. The girls you meet through the week, you invite them there with the pack, on the weekend for an hour or two, Friday and Saturday and whatever, and you just build up this culture and this momentum. There's like a wheel happening, and that's sick because I don't know what's going to happen with the base project. If it's just going to mass grow here, as cities open up like Los Angeles, Phoenix, Vegas, even like Reno or whatever, how much we're willing to expand and what we're going to, spread out in those ways, do events there, rent a house there, live there, commute back and forth. There could be a whole thing going on. And part of this podcast is also the lateral expansion of IMC Nation. I don't know how much I don't know how to track really the numbers. I just know that I'm so much better than everybody else is at what I do with IMC Nation that there's no one to compare to except myself from yesterday. And I get so frustrated comparing to myself because then you're always critically looking inward at your shit. So it's just like, move forward. This contributes. This is the IMC Nation TV. Oh, by the way, we're changing the YouTube to IMC TV. I have a sick logo to show you all from Eric B. So that's real dope. But of course, you're how instrumental, like, have you done other like camps or with other coaches or personal development either? I don't know that I'm very aware of like your history with like the personal development. I mean, in brief, like, have you ever paid other coaches before you came to AZD?
The only person that I've gone that actually that I did it any personal development was through BC, and that's how I came across AZD.
So you discovered BC, Brian Casella. We've had him on the show. Actually, I don't know that we've had him on the show. We've had him on Behavior Code. We'll probably recycle that episode or whatever. And so you paid for some stuff. He does sales and business and everything. And then you got exposed to AZD and then you came here. So that's relatively new. So up until you paid BC for some programs, you had just been living with the mindset that your parents and teachers and coaches had given you growing up, like with no influence and whatever you studied, I guess, after you got out of the house.
Yeah, it was all college. Went to college, had this whole frame of getting married, having kids, and the whole scripted, mentality until I started listening to VC, and then obviously it made sense. You know, some of his teachings come from AZD, and that resonated with me a lot until I met AZD and started watching his stuff on YouTube. Eventually, I was able to afford and get on his program.
Yeah.
Which was, I believe, Love Spell was their first program, which was about getting women, and then Lion's Den
Okay.
was the other one.
Yeah. Powerful, transformative, you know, a lot of evolution there. Master myself, you were on during Love Spell days, you know, what an evolution this has been. It doesn't seem like it when you're in it day by day, but looking back on what the community of IMC Nation was, I mean, even that first boot camp, Love Spell, where you and I first met in person, that was right before COVID, right before masks, right before that split, a split a nation.
Yeah.
And man, what can you tell us about that? What's changed in your eyes since you've been around? I even went back. Sometimes I look for people's emails, and I search in my email, whatever, like where you search for an email in your, if you've received an email from them, and I'll see like some email that Ebo sent like 6 years ago that has like 100 emails attached to it, and theirs was one of them. And I'll look through it and I'll be like, there's Demari. Oh, there's Lead Eye, Shoes Asia. There's fucking Cameron McGriff. These motherfuckers have been around forever. There's there's Michael Kyle Dory or whatever. He's gone, that guy. You know, you see a lot of the guys that left also, you know. Oh, there's Aikido's email. So yeah, what have you witnessed being in it for consistently? Because I didn't see you at events before I got you to come to Love Spell event. You didn't participate in the collaboration of Vince Kelvin and Arash, that whole saga of 2 years, not in person. Maybe you were online for some things. But being that you're from Phoenix, I was coming back and forth from Florida, selling everything I owned. But then January of 2020, Jordan Demari stepped up and became known on another level, you know. And what have you witnessed since then, brother? It occurred to IMC Nation and your experience of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, that's a trip just to hear you explain that, because that's like a roller coaster of the history right there. I've seen people come, I've seen people go, I've seen, you know, people integrate themselves and then fall off, and you know, all the in-betweens. And so it's been amazing, bro, to see the the evolution of the tribe all together within IMC Nation. I think just us being able to connect with each other, you know, through the Telegram group when it first started, and and then even the beast camps that were leading up to that, right? There was a series of boot camps that, you know, I attended online, and for everything, I mean, everything for me actualized, you know, came to life the moment that I touched down in San Jose. I remember getting off the plane, and it just felt different, you know.
When in January of 2020, that first Love Spell camp?
Yeah, it was. So the first time I went live was May 2020. So that, from that moment, yeah, it was just an expansion in my awareness completely. And so before that, I remember everything was Love Spell, and so I saw the transition from Love Spell to Lions Den, and then from Lions Den into Brotherhood of the Beast, man. And so it's just been an upward scale. It's like being around since the beginning. Well, it feels like the beginning, but it's being around. It's like getting a stock when it's $4, and now, you know, the stock is worth 400, right? You're seeing the value of the company, or the value of, you know, this storyline just increase over time. So it's been really, really powerful to be a part of, from my perspective, as long as I've been tapped in. But just to see, you know, the evolution of us as a tribe has been just magical, man. It's really, really inspiring. And it's, you know, of course, what inspired me to continue to build, you know, with the IMC Black Panthers, and even the mastermind group that we have, you know, every day, or Monday. So it's just been extremely powerful.
And I think that applying what I taught in the Pyramid of Success, I think that Jaime and the Hispanic group there in Los Angeles could double or triple in size of loyal followers real fast. real fast with new people. Because what I did is, now I had already been studying for a few years, and I'd already made feminist posts and different kinds of social media posts that kind of riled up my haters so I could delete them. And, I'd cleaned through my social media a few times just over the years, but it wasn't like it is now. When I was coming up with IMC, we didn't have like this tribal cohesion at all, not at all. Barely met anybody in IMC. I met Brian, and everybody else were just names to me. I barely used Instagram. And but a few years later, like I'd also worked a little bit with Vince Kelvin. I'd been to many events in person. So if there was anybody that was going to have known any of the people, I was going to know a lot of the people. Some of the people like Chris Delgado, maybe Brian. Brian was super busy, and Chris didn't have there were guys with my business savvy, with which and my work ethic, elbow grease, and so much familiarity with the content. Like I was just positioned to be like that. So I was doing little things for Vince, and I saw them separating as teachers, and I was clearly with Arash. And so I kind of just dropped that role. I focused on my yoga business or whatever. And when it came time to do business with Arash, there was a little bit, I guess, because I sold something, maybe it was the no fucks notes. I believe I sold the no fucks notes. Perhaps in that process, I began the process of like kind of messaging people that were on my stories or that were engaging with my social media posts in some ways. And just kind of started, not anything like I do now. Now I'm much more clear and sharp, where it's like, you're with me or you're out. You're with me or you're out. You're with me or you're out. And you just start cutting. But at the beginning, I was just like, hey, are you interested in this thing? And pull them in. And I just was nurturing that. And then at some point I decided a newsletter, but then Arash recruited me for to do the Tabiat program or whatever. So now my whole story and everybody that was on my engaging with my posts, every single person got messaged. I found a lot of girls in there that I wasn't even recognized. I found all kinds of people in there. Then as he kept pushing me to succeed more and succeed more, I would find what friends did I have overlapping with him, or I would go to his professional page and see what friends do I have overlapping with the professional page. I go to Facebook, what friends do I have overlapping? I would, and from there, from messaging everybody, some may show up to a live because you just message them and they see you go live, so they show up. If you have a newsletter to keep them corralled and keep them interested in whatever, that I just kind of grew, because what it was when Jordan Demari came was much smaller than it is now. And from before that, it was much smaller. And it was just like, it grew out of the ether. It was a bunch of people living in potential interest of stepping up to the next level. And I just kind of charged the air so that the electricity came out of it. And then we collected it on this transformer or whatever, called the base operations. And, so we're building power. We got a movement here, and you got a movement there in Los Angeles. Like Tat Addicts has arrived here. He's part of it. And really, how much is, I was going to give a thing about racism, but I want to see where is that even part of it? It's like, you're welcoming for everybody there in Los Angeles. It doesn't have to be just like Latin people. But then how much of the Latin culture, that's just Los Angeles, It's maybe not related to so much the Black Panther movement. Do you see like any kind of IMC Nation Hispanic movement similar to the IMC Nation Black Panther movement? Or is that just that we just have so many Hispanic people that we're just getting that impression?
Well, I guess it was just a coincidence that there was a lot of Hispanic people in LA that were IMC. But I don't think I saw it as a racial thing. But now that you're bringing that up, I guess it could be. We're not. I don't want to say it's a group just for Hispanics only. We have Najim there, and there's other brothers that are welcome to join as well, of any race. But it's just such a big group in LA that it could potentially be the majority Hispanics. It already is, and there could be much more Hispanics.
Yeah, it's natural and cultural identity of the group.
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to about the party coming up? What do you see coming out of it as an outcome while we're wrapping up the show?
Yeah, so for me, it's funny how I didn't, how it got from, how I manifested this about going to San Jose early. I didn't think I was going to go in January. That wasn't in my head, or possibly financially, but it was always in my mind. I got to go back to San Jose. I got to go back to the Millionaires Party, and it happened. But for me personally, for the party, what I'm looking is just basically to see where I'm at, where my game is at compared to the first time that I went. Now I don't know how different it'll be. It might be some different to the first one, but for me personally, I just want to see where I'm at. How much have I improved since the first time I went to the party?
For sure. Yeah, it's going to be different. It'll definitely be different, especially since you've been going out with the tribe and your path down there in LA. I think, it's incremental changes where you are, and then you come up here and it's like you'll see big shifts. You'll see places where you can grow. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because I am not able to see that very much, to leave and come back and see the change in myself and the change in the group. It's a daily thing, but that's the way I want it. So, right on. Mr. Demari, what do you think? Winding down, any closing thoughts about, we were talking a lot about the tribalism and the race and whatever. It's not like as interesting a topic, but, with the gathering coming up, like, what's it been like there socially in Phoenix? What's the social life there like?
It's dope that you asked that because I wanted to tap in. Me and the brother Aaron Luna finally got to link up. He'd been out here, or I've been aware that he's out here for months. What's that?
He's online now too.
Yeah. And so it was dope, man. It was a different level of experience. It was similar to when you came out here to Phoenix. It was just like,
I remember.
Yeah, and having you out here was man, it was a nostalgic moment looking back, because I look back and I can see how far we've grown since then. But it was special, what I'm saying, to have you in the city, and it when you connect with the IMC brother outside of being in San Jose, even and in your own space, it actualizes for you. You feel more so like it's integrated with your life, right? And that's the process that I think we're all tapping into, who aren't at the base in particular. I mean, well, everybody is ultimately integrated, right? But it's different being away from the base and having space to integrate. So it was a powerful experience. We linked up and connected. It was first time that ever seeing each other, and but it was just a dope experience. We went out to a bar, what have you, and we were opening sex, and it was just amazing, man. It was a flow that I hadn't experienced before.
Yeah.
So it was dope.
Man, it's so cool. And you got Leo Patino there in Phoenix too, so you got to push him because he's a wallflower or whatever. But you got to push him because when you guys agree on like this philosophy that you study, it's kind of like if you were all into World of Warcraft, or if you're all into FIFA Soccer 08, or if you were all into Halo, or if you're all into I don't know, the Washington Redskins or something. Like, you agree on these ideas that when you learn that the other person agrees on these ideas, all of a sudden you're super close, even though you've known each other 5 seconds. And but this is way deeper than all that shit. This is way deeper. This philosophy of life, integrated mental concepts, philosophy of relationship, men and women interact, and so capitalism. Like, there's so many cool things in this. It's being a philosopher, a monk, and like a social, spiritual warrior and physical warrior, if you choose to be. To meet a brother from out of the population of the earth, and they live in just meeting them online is cool. Traveling and meeting them, like I was traveling through Phoenix, is cool. Having them where they live in your town, super cool. and real gratifying, and you can really generate some power from a solid place because you're aligned, and you can really dig deep and still find mostly alignment there. And that's what's so fortunate about the LA crew, because that's huge. You guys are way super aligned. You're more aligned than any fraternity on a college campus, except for maybe like some of them that do like blood sacrifices or whatever, so they have to be aligned. But they're, it's evil. So there's a lot of bad stuff that'll happen from that. So you guys are like legit aligned on this philosophy of life that you're studying. And that's so cool. What you're going to generate from that, or what you could generate from that, I'm sure there's been a lot of bands that were really good at music that came and went and just didn't get enough publicity. And their music was probably so good. What you do with it is different than actually having the product. So that's dope. So we should think about like creating events in Phoenix and Los Angeles, maybe some kind of touring circuit. We should think about everybody expanding your reach and who you're talking to about IMC Nation and who you're bringing along to your meetings, your Zoom meetings, and your, lectures and gathering and whatever. And even just bringing out, or talking about this stuff, expanding like Fight Club, like you want to get people interested. And it'll happen naturally, but I should also throw some words of encouragement in there, because that, grows things in that direction. That's how I did what I did. And, I have so far to go. And yet I see so much distance between me and people behind me that are following this stuff. And it's not so much in the skill of communication or in the gaining of women. Like, I don't know that I'm that much further in either of those things than a lot of guys. I think they're further than me in ways. And even if they're younger or less into philosophy or whatever, but they may be living in a narrow area of life to where if they had to take on more responsibility, then the balance, then that would be the test. I hope they would succeed with that. So I think there's an evolution here of being able to create the business and lifestyle for yourself that, that's what the system is. The system is that your friends are your clients, and your clients, that's your people. You're living your life. That's your dream life. And, you're integrated with clients that have clients of their own because they have a service that they sell or that they do, that they're awesome at, that you want in your life. And so everybody's network of people that we work and live with, it's that almost like utopian commune or whatever, but it's not a commune. It's some voluntary exchange of entrepreneurs that work their ass off. And if they, ad vitam et culpam, if they don't live up to their character or whatever, then they get kicked out. They lose their position. And, within this tribe, we have the IMC Black Panthers. We have the LA crew. Maybe it's not the Hispanic crew. It's just the LA crew, because LA is its own culture. It's its own identity. It's people from LA area, even if it's like Burbank or fucking Hollywood or, Whittier, or I know my areas, San Bernardino. I don't know many areas. All right, last word. Any guests? We have a bunch of guests, people online right now. If you want, you can raise your hand. We have 3 minutes before I got to go. So you can raise your hand, or either of my guests. If you got something, you just unmute, man. Last word, final word. You find these guys on Instagram. This is IMC Nation. Oh, racism. So ism is a quality or characteristic of something. So like capital ism or social ism. It's a word. Ism is a word in itself that became a suffix to other words. That's the evolution of language. So ism. So racism is an ism of a race. It's the quality or characteristics of the race. Like feminism is supposed to be the isms of the feminine. It's not supposed to be the fight for the equality of men and women. That's not what the word means. The French word is feminism, feminismo. It's an ism of feminine. So racism is the ism of race. But it became like the hatred of a culture for its isms or something, or the hatred of a race for its isms. Which, I mean, there's multiple definitions for things and how you use it and whatever. And if that's what they want to do with it, that's what they do with it. But are you racist? Yeah, I believe that race has their own isms. And I don't hate them for it. But I think there is a human thing, like, or maybe it's just me, that I resist things that are new and different. I have, let's say, envy or disdain even for if I think someone has an advantage over me. That's my initial reaction. And then I learned that I'm not in competition. No, where are my strengths and this and that. And then I focus on that. And as I train that habit, then less and less affects me throughout the world. But I don't know that it was ever racism that I had. I think it was just fear of competition or whatever. Something like that. That was my confession. I just had a confession on air just now. This is ridiculous. You know what I'm talking about. Tony typed subscribe. So everybody subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the show, leave a review. The link is there. Rai, you should come to Gathering. Zothes, come to Gathering. Melvin, come to Gathering. Ted Addicts, come to Gathering. TK, come to Gathering. All right. I see you reaching for the mute. Unmute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Once again, thank you for having me, bro. And Jaime, salute to you. Man, Jaime has been I wanted to say this earlier, but it's coming up now. I've seen his evolution, just online. I haven't met him in person yet, but man, it's been inspiring, just seeing the evolution of your character. I remember seeing you online and not knowing anything about you, but seeing you tap in, and you start where you start. But it was powerful to see you, change and transform and evolve to it how you are now, So continue going forward on that, brother. And on final note, I just wanted to plug the tribal leader event that we're having tomorrow for the IMC Black Panthers. It's called Tribal Power. So anybody that wants to go, it's a free event for everybody. So how you register for that is just message one of the IMC Black Panthers. We're all on that flyer there. So yeah, so I want to say thank you once again, brother.
Yeah, it's really cool. I want to DHV everybody too, and I'll accomplishment intro everybody too, because it's really cool. It's been really cool to see Jordan Demari evolve in his process, and he's like an elf from Lord of the Rings. He doesn't age, but he's like somehow 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 years more mature than when I first met him. And so he's way more mature, way more cultured and developed in his character, but looks the same age. So that's really cool. And Jaime, that's true, man. And I just got more perspective on where you came from. And you told me about, you came from BC to this. But putting it together and, it's so cool. You're going to be a key player in this, I think. I think there's still some walls of unknown that will be broken through to really see more potential. But I see you as a pillar. I see you in IMC Nation and as in the Latin community and in the Los Angeles community. And, I see there's a fearlessness to change about you that is what holds guys back if they have that, if they have that fear to change.
Yeah, that was me for a long time. I remember joining Lions Den in February around that time through Fernando. So I seen the transformation. I was just a spectator, and it took me a long time to actually go to one of the beast camps live. And that's when I actually found the true change and the true value in these gatherings. And after that, it's for me, it was a must to always go in person. So it's going to be my third time now going to the beast camp. And it's just every time I go, there's something that dies within me that no longer serves me. So I come back as a new person. I come back as a completely changed person. And I feel like that's something really important for me. Just to make this happen. If I don't have the funds, I figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, man, because that's the gift that keeps giving. Character development, you take that with you longer than the dollar you have in your bank or your wallet. So what are you going to spend it on anyway? Especially when it comes to getting the girl, or a lot of times getting the deal is character, who you portray, communication, how you deal with the life is going to also be that. But money also helps too, because a lot of things in life you want money. So we want money here too. So I think I've talked about that in this episode, growing and expanding. It's been a longer episode. I like doing them longer episodes. It tends to accumulate all these Zoom viewers, I'm realizing. So I don't know how we can work in longer episodes, because that's the Zoom audience. Everybody likes it more when there's a bigger audience. But for the podcasting apps, there's, the longer the episodes, people don't even want to click start because they won't get through it. So you got to keep it like snipped. Maybe we could do multiple episodes in the same Zoom cast or something. Who knows? Anyway, thanks, Master myself and Jaime Galeana and TK for posting these. Master Apprentice, he's on. MJ the Prophet for scheduling these. Zay for working the website about these. And everybody else that lends support. We got some new flyers coming and everything. Everybody else that's on, you should come to the gathering. And if you're on the recordings, click follow and join the newsletter and everything from the link below. Awesome. Os. Namaste, everyone.